Your time is up. My time is now. You can't see me. My time is now. Hey guys, what's up? This is APW. Thank you for joining APW Talk. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about will John Cena be a 17-time WWE Champion? Before we answer that question, let's go back a couple steps. We want to talk about how John Cena began as a champion. The beginning of his career, it wasn't something that we'd all expect. He was, when he made his debut, we didn't think he was going to be a guy that was going to succeed. We didn't think he was going to be that big person who would edge his name in stone to become one of the most popular wrestlers who would in the near future be, someone to be named a legend. So that's where we had John Cena at when he lost to Kurt Angle in the Open Challenge, which was also his debut. And the Ruthless Aggression era, that's how he, became himself and started putting himself on the map. The War Machine did not work. His Ruthless Aggression era persona didn't work. He has a background of wrestling. He grew up as a kid loving wrestling. He grew up as a big fan, wanting to become a wrestler, wanting to become a champion one day. I think that's how every wrestler wants to start out their dream by, being in the big business, winning titles. What else can you ask for? For John Cena, it was a little hard because he was so scrawny. He was skinny as a kid. He wanted to be what he always wanted to be. Some people doubted. Some people appreciated him. And the best part about this is how he became the John Cena. So, it's been around 3 years after his debut. He wasn't around much. He was United States champion, did good on that part. Okay, he's United States champion. What else can we see from John Cena? He had a rivalry with JBL, who said that he's nothing but like a common crook, a common criminal, because he was the Doctor Thugonomics, which is one of my favorite personas. It was one of my favorite gimmicks. I grew up watching that, and the best thing about his Doctor Thugonomics is how he insults people, and his insults are like definite. Like he knows what he's doing. You can give him a promo. You don't have to give him a paper of a promo. He will just nail it out just like that. So his it was WrestleMania 21. It was him versus JBL at WrestleMania. I had my doubts. I was like, how can a guy like John Cena, United States champion, be able to become champion? And he did. He does the five knuckle shuffle. Uh, JBL dodges by doing a clothesline, misses it, hits the attitude adjustment. One, two, three. Here's your winner, the new WWE Champion, John Cena. Okay, we see John Cena's champion. How far is this gonna go? He loses it, and then we get another match with the rated R superstar Edge at Royal Rumble. It was 2006, and he was fighting Edge for the title again. And it's crazy because we all thought, okay, Edge is a great competitor. We know how good Edge can really be. And what chances do we have of John Cena beating Edge? And it was a good match. It lasted for both of them. They both did well. He actually adapted a new finisher, the STF, which is where you grab the back of the leg, you stretch it out far, and you're holding the neck area. Unfortunately, as good as Edge was, he tapped out, and we all saw that that was a good match. And what we all began to discover was like, okay, John Cena's a two-time champion. Where's this gonna go? And then now again, John Cena loses the title, and this time to Edge. And Edge receives a custom title. He changes what John Cena changed it to before. Instead of the WWE logo, as the spinning rated R. And John Cena felt that was a disrespect, but Edge was a heel. And when I love heel Edge, the John Cena and Edge rivalry it could take you places. It could take you everywhere. And that's one of the things I love about wrestling is that it can keep the audience paying attention to the screen, pay attention to what happens next when, like, next week on SmackDown or next week on Raw, and in this case, next week on ECW with RVD, where there was one match of John Cena that he actually lost the title thanks to Edge. But then we see his next match. The third match is at Unforgiven. It was a tables, ladders, and chairs match. It was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And, we were like, oh my gosh, John Cena and Edge are taking it out so well. And they're doing so well, we can't explain how good it's going to be. And it turned out to be one of the great matches of John Cena's career. These guys are at the top of the ladder, the championship right above their grasp. John Cena knows he's in trouble, grabs Edge, boom. I think it's 2 to 3 tables that Edge lies down in, becomes champion once again, 3 times now. So he's a 3-time champion. We see that, and that's the thing about it. Now, the difference in his 4th title, it was for the World Heavyweight title. And it was not like the WWE Championship that he had. So, and this was in 2008, the Survivor Series. It was him versus the World Heavyweight Champion at the time, Chris Jericho. So in this case, it was really about how good he was going to be with other competitors, because we are like, oh, we saw John Cena versus Edge, so that's a good match. And, Chris Jericho, who was a great superstar in the Attitude Era, along with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. He was along one of those people that made a difference. And when you make a difference like that, you know that your name is going to be mentioned sooner or later. And that's what happened with John Cena and Chris Jericho in 2008. Then getting the STF close to tapping out, hit that rope break. Then he hits the Attitude Adjustment, 1, 2, 3. Now we have a 4-time champion. He's a 3-time WWE champion, but a 1-time World Heavyweight champion. But at the same time, it's kind of the same title, so they made it into a 4-time champion. His 5th match, WrestleMania 25. Boy, did he make one of the greatest entrances I've seen in WrestleMania history. Starting off with the Dr. Thugonomics, the chain gang sign, and then we see like an army of John Cena's, and then he changes that chain gang theme to, the hustle, loyalty, respect, and that was one of the greatest entrances. But not only that, one of the greatest matches, and the match was how he lifted Big Show and Edge at the same time. And, that's amazing. And, that's what we never thought we'd see. But at the same time, we did see him lift Viscera. And I'm surprised how he didn't break his back. So that was one of the things. He wins. He's a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion now. And that's making him a 5-time. The 6th match was him versus Randy Orton at Breaking Point in 2009, an I Quit match. Randy Orton and John Cena give it their all in their rivalries. They give it their all. They give it their best. And when it comes to stuff like that, you can't ask for anything better. You can't ask for a better match than Randy Orton and John Cena, because these two have beef with each other. Just like Randy Orton had beef with Edge after Rated RKO split up, just like Randy Orton had beef with Triple H after Evolution. Randy Orton knows how to make a rivalry. He knows how to make a rivalry look good. He knows how to make a rivalry last. And Randy Orton's a future Hall of Famer. No questions asked. Future Hall of Famer. Doesn't matter about the RKOs. Doesn't matter about that. What matters is his rivalry intentions, and he's spot on. He's definitely 100% spot on. Anyway, in this I Quit match, John Cena was badly battered. But, John Cena's a smart guy, and and he's the only wrestler who's never lost an I Quit match. I've been making some research, and it turns out he's the only one who's never lost an I Quit match. And man, that guy's strong. But I think the big one was when he made Randy say I quit. He was handcuffed, and then both Randy and John were handcuffed. He does the STF and puts his arm around here, making Randy say I quit. So this makes him now a 6-time champion, and that's what we got so far. Between that, now the 7th title he had was again against Randy Orton, and how can you survive a 60-minute Iron Man match? You're fighting for an hour. These guys are tied up 3-3, and it's really close. It's tied up. Are we gonna have an overtime, or there's gonna be no winner? He hits the STF, and like right around 3 seconds, he taps out, and then John Cena wins. He's the new champion, so that makes him a 7th time. Now, Elimination Chamber. This is his 8th title. Elimination Chamber, 2010, for the WWE title. We got John Cena, Sheamus, Triple H, Orton, DiBiase, and Kingston, for Triple H's title. And the thing is that the final 2 were Triple H and John Cena. Triple H knows how to last long. And I really hope it's not because of the paychecks he receives from his father-in-law. So I really hope it's not because of that. But John Cena really knows how to step up a game. He really knows how to do something like that. And when you see something like that, you can't explain it. You know how good the Elimination Chamber is. The Elimination Chamber is intensifying. It's nerve-wracking. It gives you anxiety, especially if you're watching. But it gives more anxiety to the superstars who are there, because this is a chamber with tons of steel that you don't know how badly you're going to get hurt, because you can get thrown through the fences, can get hurt through the mat. And, this is one of those things that the Elimination Chamber is all about. And now that Triple H and John Cena are the final 2, hits the STF, real close for him, but he taps out. Triple H taps out because I think that's enough pain for him to bear, probably by being battered up to the point where you can't hear yourself think and feel your body. So that's what happened. He becomes now an 8-time champion. Now, Batista, his 9th title reign at WrestleMania 26. Can we just talk about how good Batista is? Can we talk about how good he really brings out a match? He can really bring out a match, all right. And with John Cena, this was one of the great matches. And, Batista can keep up a fight. John Cena, they're both kind of at the same level. And, this was one of the great matches I've seen, at least. So that was nothing that I couldn't regret watching. Hits him with the STF, taps out, and 9-time champion John Cena. So, and that was one of the things that made WrestleMania 24 so interesting. Now, the 10th title reign, one of my favorite rivalries. John Cena beats The Miz and John Morrison for the WWE title. Man, when The Miz is out there, you have to hate him. He retained the title at WrestleMania 27, like I talked about in my rivalry of The Rock, the John Cena versus The Rock. You can watch that. It's the 3rd episode of the APW talk. Make sure to see it. You don't want to miss it. You'll love it. And, this is where John Cena felt hurt, because not only that, he lost to The Rock at WrestleMania, and Extreme Rules is coming up, and John Cena finally gets the revenge he deserves, beats them both, becomes WWE Champion. The Miz challenges him at Over the Limit, fails, also a night quit match. And John Cena's proving these people wrong. He's proving people that you can do anything if you don't give up. Like he says, never give up. And man, this is a guy that we all know. And this is one of the guys that was really hard to come by. You don't know that. You have to expect it sooner or later, and that's what he did for Extreme Rules. And his 11th title reign, it was a Raw episode, actually. It was a Raw episode. It was with the WWE Champion Rey Mysterio. I mean, booyaka, booyaka. Come on, man. Rey Mysterio, you can't judge someone by their height. Rey Mysterio has gone through so many obstacles from, beating Chavo Guerrero in an I Quit match, from winning the 2006 Royal Rumble, from winning the main event of 2006 WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight title. I mean, that's what Rey Mysterio does. He defines the impossible. And that was no surprise at the episode of Raw in 2011. He lost to Cena, but Cena gave him his respect because you got to respect Mysterio. He's the underdog, and he made himself a big name after beating Orton and Angle at WrestleMania. So that's something you got, and I mean, you got to remember that's something you have to feel. And they felt it. The fans felt it. And John Cena can make any fan, any superstar feel that they belong. And that's what he did. He made these wrestlers belong. No matter if they lost a match, he made them belong. Say that their fight mattered, that their match, that their abilities, their speed, it mattered to him. And that's what John Cena is about. He respects the sport, he respects the entertainment, he respects the craft. And that's what he did with Rey Mysterio for his 11th title defense. Now for his 12th title defense, Night of Champions in 2011, Alberto Del Rio, who I despise so much. I never like Alberto Del Rio, especially Ricardo Rodriguez, because he has to have his own announcer to make himself look good. And that match didn't last long. Hits the AA and 1, 2, 3, becomes 12-time champion. No questions asked. Now, the WrestleMania 28 event that I was talking to you about, that is, again, like I said in my third episode, it's something you don't want to miss. Also, that was WrestleMania 29. John Cena had some ups and downs with The Rock. The Rock beat CM Punk at Royal Rumble, and John Cena won the Royal Rumble, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna face The Rock. But it was it's like once in a lifetime part two. It's part two of one of the greatest rivalries of The Rock versus John Cena. And now it's at New York, New Jersey, and East Rutherford, where WrestleMania 35 has also been held. I think it was, 4 years ago? And, he beats him. He becomes now 13-time champion. He gives The Rock respect. The Rock gives his respect back. And we're going somewhere. He's at 13. We're going somewhere. And now it's 24, also 2013 as well. Hell in a Cell. Alberto Del Rio hits the STF, taps out. We got a 14-time champion for John Cena. Now, this was the problem. This was in 2014 Money in the Bank. Daniel Bryan wins at WrestleMania 30. Both titles, and somehow Stephanie and Triple H, the storyline was that he had to give it up, and he refused to. So they beat the living life out of him, and the titles were vacated. So we had John Cena, Orton, Kane, Reigns, Del Rio, Sheamus, Wyatt, and Cesaro. It was a ladder match, and that was one of the greatest matches because it combined the titles both. And John Cena won. And I was like, this man really respects and understands what he's doing. John Cena knows what he's doing and what he's capable of. And that's what happened. And unfortunately, he lost to Randy Orton, both of those titles. And it was, it retired through Randy Orton. And then it was about 3 years, John Cena kept asking chance after chance. AJ Styles, new guy, did his debut 2016. And, John Cena versus Styles. Royal Rumble match. Attitude adjustments, phenomenal forearms, style clashes, all of them. They're all kicking out. Their shoulders are up. And then the moment that was the moment, Attitude adjustment, twists down and hits a double. 1, 2, 3. John Cena reaches the goal that has been impossible for the last 17 years. Ric Flair, when he won his 16th title, it was in 2000 when he was WCW World Heavyweight Champion. And now 17 years later, John Cena, the leader of C Nation, the guy who's all about hustle, loyalty, respect, who says never give up, you can't see me, his time is now, reaches that ultimate goal and finally reaches the level of being a 16-time champion. And I remember myself, I was crying tears of joy, and I was like, yes, he finally reached that momentum. He finally reached that historic landmark, that milestone that so many wrestlers try to do. I mean, The Rock was a 10-time champion. Stone Cold was an 11-time champion. Randy Orton and Triple H, 14-time champions. Hulk Hogan, 12-time champion. Brock Lesnar, also an 11-time champion. But you don't see anyone past 14. If you were past 14, that's a miracle. And he made that into a possibility. And JBL says he's big match John. So every time you see him win a title, it's always a big match. But then years kept on going by. WrestleMania after WrestleMania, he was on a losing streak, sadly. And WrestleMania 36, The Fiend beats John Cena. I thought that John Cena was gone for good. Money in the Bank. Roman beats Edge. He tells the world to acknowledge him. John Cena's theme comes up. I have the shirt on right here. It was with this shirt. It was this design that was in the Titantron. And I was like, no way. He's back. And he's going to challenge Roman Reigns. And if he challenges Roman Reigns and beats him, that will make it the 17th championship title. I watched that match and Spear, and I was devastated. I think a lot of fans were devastated because they wanted to see John Cena win that 17th title. Even I did. I've seen some videos of little kids crying when John Cena lost. And the good thing about that SummerSlam match is that it shows that John Cena hasn't lost his touch. He might have been gone for like a year, but he hasn't lost his touch. And the best thing to accumulate his career was that he has a SummerSlam shirt that was Mario based. I have that same shirt, with all the 16 titles, making it look like, the 16 ups, like the mushrooms that you get from Mario. But at the same time, I was bummed because I was like, oh man, this could have been John Cena. And then it's another year that passes by. John Cena celebrating 20 years of success. And, that's amazing. That's amazing for me. And, and then at New Year's Eve, he comes back to fight with Kevin Owens as his partner to fight Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn, who they successfully defeat. And now coming up in March, which I'm really excited, March 6th, he's going to be coming in Boston. I really hope it's going to be a triple threat between Cena, Cody, and Reigns, but I hardly doubt it. So I would like to see that. It will probably be Theory versus Cena, probably for the United States Championship. But the biggest question of all, now it's time for the answer that I explained in the beginning of this video. Will John Cena be a 17-time champion? Yes. Why? Because people want to see that record broken. They are probably sick and tired of hearing Ric Flair being the record holder. But at the same time, will he be a 17-time champion? No. Why? He's 45. He's in Hollywood. He's a busy man, just like The Rock. There's hardly enough time from his schedule to, put in all that time to, directing a movie, to getting a title match. And, that's something that really upsets me. I really hope he does win a 17th championship. But at the same time, it's going to be real hard because, he's a busy man in Hollywood. He's hitting the spotlights. He's going to talk shows. And he's making wishes for kids. So that's something he's been doing probably since 2005. He's been doing as a Chain Gang. I know that he started doing Make-A-Wish when he was in the Chain Gang. And this is, this is a guy that you really, really have to admire. You can hate him, you can love him, but you have to respect him. You have to respect him because that's John Cena. He's all about respect, and it clearly says it right here on the top of my shirt. Respect. That's what he stands by. And no doubt, I really hope this year he could be inducted, at least inducted to the Hall of Fame, because this guy has been having it for 20 years. And it's really difficult to last in a business like WWE for 20 years because we know the contracts McMahon does. Speaking of Vince McMahon, I'm going to be talking about the McMahon family, the generation of the creating of the WWE, probably around next Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't make a promise, but I'll try to make it between one of those 2 days. Speaking of WrestleMania, on April 1st, April 2nd, it's WrestleMania season. I will be talking about the history of WrestleMania on night one, and I will be talking about the matches of WrestleMania at night two. It might be close to an hour, 2 hours. I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be a heck of a time. We're going to be talking about the history of WrestleManias from WrestleMania 1 till WrestleMania 39. Next year, WrestleMania 40 is going to be in my hometown of Philly. I'm excited. I would love to watch it. I know for sure I'm not going to miss it. So that's going to be something that I'm really looking forward to. So my answer, will he be 17-time champion? Yes and no. So that's going to be my answer. Until next time, this is APW. Thank you for joining APW Talk. Tomorrow, I will be talking about the history of the Anoa'i family. That's right. I'm going to be talking about The Rock, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Rikishi, Umaga. But how did it all begin? Let's start off with the High Chief, Peter Maivia. Thank you for watching this episode. Until next time, this is APW. Thank you for joining APW Talk. Click on the subscribe button, click that notification bell, chat down in the comments of what you want me to talk about next. And make sure, because I want to listen to you guys and I want your opinions to be heard by me. Until next time, this is APW. Peace out.